So, welcome to the basement.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. This is Dana's basement track.
Hey guys.
We talked about this a little bit in the scale inspiration video. If you remember way back, you can check in the channel. I'll put a link down below. But we're going to give you an actual full tour of the basement track here in a minute, but we're going to spend a few minutes just talking about what kind of cars do we use, what kind of materials can you use if you want to set up your own basement track. And we've seen a lot of variety of that here. There's materials of all different kinds. And so, first of all, let's talk about how did this basement track come about. So let's say that I've got my house just sitting there and, you know, how do I get started? What's the first thing that's got to happen to make this happen?
Well, you've got to have the space, of course, as you mentioned. And I was lucky enough to have a space that really didn't have a purpose. Of course, we're in the basement. And this side of the basement, you know, it's got lower ceilings, but they're high enough, tall enough. But it really didn't have a, you know, that sort of space that you could do anything with. So, you know, what do you do? So, you know, I get reintroduced into the hobby. I meet, you know, local guys who are really into the hobby. And, you know, lo and behold, a few short years later, we've got this sort of basement racing series and racetrack. So, you know, that's initially how it started, but, you know.
And winter boredom.
Yeah, of course.
Lots of winter boredom.
Yeah, well, up here, I suppose up here, right?
We're in Canada, just so you know.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we have, especially this year, we've had some long winters. So this is obviously a good little release. You can be creative and, yeah, so this is what it's become.
And this is kind of in your workshop. I mean,
yeah, this is my workshop.
You can't see this on the camera, but like just behind us is all these shelves, right? He's got RC cars piled here from one to the other, and that goes the whole length of this basement here. And then on this side here, he's got a whole bunch of tools, workbench, drill press, grinders, all this stuff, and then his workbench is right here just beside where the camera's sitting. And so this is kind of like your workspace. You're like, it's like your hobby play zone.
Yeah, that's it. You know, the nice thing is you know, it's a workshop, and so I can build what have you, and if I feel as though, you know, I need to do something completely different, or you know, want to rip around in one of the mini chassis 1/10 or 1/12 scale, you know, I can sit there and do a couple laps, and so yeah, it's nice to have a workshop and a racetrack all at the same time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So remember when we met this guy?
Yeah, it wasn't too far from here, actually.
Was this like, what was it, 3 years ago? 2 years ago?
I think about 2.5 years now.
Two and a half at
yeah.
least, yeah, because this is the second winter down here.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So yeah, this is about 2.5 years ago. We were over playing with a, what was it?
EXO.
No, SC10 kit.
Yeah, it's the 4x4.
Yeah, the SC10 4x4 kit.
Yeah.
And
my EXO too, I think.
Exactly. We were just beating the crap out of these things in a parking lot because, well, that's what you do with brand new things.
That is what you do with them, yeah.
So,
yeah, you know that.
Yeah. So we were sitting there bombing around, and all of a sudden we see this this car just immediately slam on the brakes and rip into the parking lot.
Yeah.
This guy jumps out and he's like, "You guys are into RC cars!
Yeah.
I've been looking for this!"
Yeah.
There was a bit of excitement, eh?
Oh
yeah, there was. I think for me there was excitement because I had just initially gotten back into the hobby, and I had recognized some of the cars that you guys are racing around in. So I thought, oh, geez, there's somebody who's in the hobby and knows the hobby. So of course I pull in, you know, like a madman, and I'm like, hey, you guys are into the RC hobby, so am I, because I was really into it, and I think you guys sort of looked at me like, yeah, but strange, like who is this guy, right? Like, what is he doing?
Yeah.
I'm certainly glad I did do what I did and pull in and say hi, because it's really sort of established a lot of fun and you know, basement series racing and different types of flying and crawlers and what have you. So it's been a lot of fun.
That's true. And you just had, as far as a crawler goes, you just had the Hilux back then. You had open diffs and everything.
That's right.
And
oh yeah.
Yeah, we were like, well, we're gonna go for a crawl. Do you want to come? And you're just just completely blown away, and you're like, I'll be right back. And like 15 minutes later, he comes back. His car is absolutely full of every RC car he owns at the moment.
I remember that too.
And he goes, he's like, look at this, look at this, look at this. Let's go crawling. So we go crawling, and we kill the battery, and then we're coming back, and he had was the Triple X. The Lossy.
The Lossy.
And he's like, have you ever driven one of these? And we're like, well, no, we haven't. We've actually haven't driven this. So we go over to the ball diamonds, and we completely tear up the entire ball diamond. And by this time, like, the mosquitoes were so thick.
Oh yeah.
But,
really?
Oh yeah,
I don't remember the mosquitoes. I was too excited.
Yeah, they were terrible.
It's funny too because when we did meet, it was really neat. And of course, I show you that Hilux, that orange Hilux I have, and of course, it's through meeting you guys. It's done a lot of different things. It's been in a lot of different sort of morphs and
evolved.
Thank you. And I remember I had like an FM radio with the big antenna.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did. And we'd go into the rocks, and the signal would bounce between the rocks, and it would start to jitter. And, certainly.
I remember the jitter. I remember the jitter.
But meeting these guys has created this wall of RC goodness. So it's been fun.
It's been terrible on your wallet. It's really terrible on your wallet.
And you see what's been happening, right? Is that we knew right away, the very first day that we met this guy, that he was totally into scale.
Oh yeah.
So because when he showed up with like this trunk full of buggies in his car, he was like totally souped up, custom painted Hilux. All this special stuff that he did, and all these rigs that you've been building with interiors and goodness and drivers and paint and lights, and it was just amazing. And then, what is it, maybe 6 months after that, you opened up your basement for us to come down and actually start talking about how to put a track down here. And I mean, we were just like blown away. I mean, we wish that neither one of us has a basement that could do that.
No, not at the time, no.
No, and I certainly didn't, and don't now. And I mean, this was an offer that I think we could not refuse, right? So I mean, how long did it take us to get down here? Like maybe a week.
I think we started talking about it just as the snow started to fly.
Right. Yeah.
And we're like, have you ever watched Al's
Armature Alley?
Armature Alley.
Yeah, Armature Alley.
And then we started.
That's inspiration.
That's
inspiration for sure.
And so we started talking about that, and Dave's like, yeah, I've watched that. I'd love to do something, and I have this basement, and that's where it really started to evolve more and more. Then, it had carpet down here at one time.
Yeah. So pulled up the carpet.
Pulled up the carpet. We painted the floor, or Dana painted the floor.
Yeah.
And it's gone nothing but up from there.
And the good thing is the people you meet and the places you sort of go and. You're able to start. I think I got the paint from you, and we painted the floor, and then
I don't regret that donation at all.
Yeah, exactly. And, all the different materials, and you look at around, your environment at home, where have you, and I had this plastic, and so we sort of it was the right height, it was the right feel.
You mean for the edge board? On
sort of the edging of the track, the guardrail, so to speak. And so that went down, and you guys sort of came down that day, and I had all this material, and you're like, okay, here we go. It just sort of evolved and morphed into this incredible racetrack that, even today, 2 years later, we haven't really changed a lot when it comes to the layout, but man, is it a lot of fun. And, with the materials that we've been able to gather, we've really sort of created something that's pretty unique.
Yeah.
Don't worry if you're trying to figure out what we're trying to talk about. Don't worry, we're going to show you the whole track in a minute. So you'll understand what we mean about this, the edge board and the layout and everything. So it's coming. Don't worry. And I remember we came down here one night, and we were putting in all the edging with a cement drill and everything, and we were hammering in all these little brackets in all the way around to make sure that the edging stayed in the proper spots on the corners and that.
Yeah, it's all just. Small. Well, it's basically it's leftover puckboard.
Yep.
A little small one. Not even. I think it's about a ½ inch L bracket. They also look like Meccano L brackets.
Yeah, that's right.
And just a short tapcon into the cement. Luckily, Dana's floor doesn't have isn't heated, so it's not radiant at all. So we didn't have to worry about hitting any lines.
Yeah.
And if you do have a heated floor,
don't do this.
Don't do what we do.
Do not drill your floor.
That's not a good idea.
No.
You'll have a very cold spot in your floor. and in your couch.
Yeah, that's right.
We accept no responsibility for any damage this video has caused your basement.
Yeah. It certainly created a lot of fun times, though. But and perhaps some damage to the cars that we use, and perhaps this is a good intro into the certain cars that we use, because this isn't a very big space. I couldn't tell you how big it is. It's maybe what, 15 by 12 or something at the most.
That's absolutely at the most.
Yeah,
there's one, two. 2.5 panels, so that's 10 feet down at that end, and we're definitely 12 feet at this end.
Yeah.
So not big. So we really wanted to sort of pick a car that would work, and that the 1/10 or the mini class 1/12 from Tamiya really works well, or the 1/18 sizes work. So these are our 1/12, I guess.
Yeah, these are the mini class. What kind of chassis do you have in there?
So I've got the MO5 front wheel chassis, all done up with all sort of anodized parts from Tamiya.
That's a nice looking kit. That's the Pro kit, isn't it? No.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, with a few upgrades on it. Performs well. Slick tires on this one. In doing this, we really discovered the turning radius, because it's such a small space.
It is. It's a tight track.
Super important. So that's this one. What do you have there?
MO3. It's a repurposed body. The body was actually raced in Ottawa, and I think the chassis as well. And I have no idea how we ended up with it. Either way, it's being well used, well abused now.
We consider it the tank.
We call it the tank.
It's put many a scar on the puckboard around here. And
that's true.
It's fun. Like, we have some Lexan bumpers going on, just to keep it from completely wrecking the rest of the car, and
it also
it's done great.
Yeah, your big
a little bit of Lexan there.
Your big bumpers help to bash everybody else off the track too.
Well, that happens.
And this is an MO3 as well, front drive with a short wheelbase, and it's got a Blue Groove rabbit body on there.
Right. It looks good. Good paint job too.
They all look great. I mean, that's a beautiful car.
You
got to have a Subaru.
Yeah.
And of course, then there are a couple different layouts that you can use. This is the This is the MO4 rear-wheel drive. Of course, Porsche being rear-wheel drive.
Yeah.
And scale, of course. Yeah, that's kind of what we want with these cars. We try to make them, as we know, scale as possible. So this is this guy, and
gorgeous.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
That's a beautiful car.
I had to adjust the wheelbase a little bit to fit the body as the HPI Porsche. But the MO4 chassis, and it performs well on this track too. So
very nice car.
Yeah, thanks.
So none of this is 10 scale. I mean, the track is actually too small, right, to run a 10 scale car on here.
Yeah, good point.
Too big for a micro.
Oh, we ran the micros.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you could pretty much just run it wide open.
Yeah. You burnt my battery.
I did not.
Yes, you did.
I'm sorry.
But it made for a cool show.
It did.
You'll have to tell me about that. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Well, isn't there a scorch mark right there?
I think there was. Yeah, we did burn one battery.
Did we really?
Yeah.
It was the first time I've seen a light bulb go supernova. Tiny little one, but it went supernova on us.
And then of course these just came out. Hey, this is like that's yours.
Yep.
This is the 1/18 mini Apex from Associated. We got two of these.
Yep.
Yeah, and this is I think Associated has been doing 1/18 for a long time, and somehow they managed to put it into this almost perfect package.
Really nice.
Yeah, what did we pay for these? Like $100 and something bucks?
$160 with tax or something?
Yeah, like radio and battery and everything. And that's this car.
Four-wheel drive.
Four-wheel drive. On this track, in this size, this is an incredible indoor basement car.
It flies.
Yeah, these are really fly.
Really fly.
And if you just for a comparison, you sort of get that.
Yeah, I mean, the Mini is pretty small too, but I mean, this is a little bit smaller.
Yeah. And
it fits the size of the track corners really well. These are super fun down here.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because, after having the Minis go around and then getting these on the track, you get so much more space and they really sort of perform, especially with the four-wheel drive. That's a nice little...
That is a nice feature. Yeah, you can just hammer the thing.
And the Latrax is another one that would, I think, whip around here pretty good.
We actually went up to Pat's basement track up in up the river there a little
That's
while.
right.
And we brought our 2 Apex here.
Yeah.
And they all ran the tracks up there.
Yeah.
And they're all just the right, perfect size for a small track in the basement. It's a great idea.
Yeah.
That's a fun car.
Yeah, it truly is. And so, you know, for all those out there that do have a space in which they can use in their basement for such a endeavor, you know, these are some of the products and the brands that really work well. So I highly recommend it. And it's
they work great inside.
Yeah, we've been having a lot of fun with this now. What, as you said, what, 2.5 years or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And small, like the maintenance and the ownership of these cars is tiny, right? I mean, these have 2,000 milliamp LiPo, 2,200 milliamp LiPo. Yeah. We put a slightly larger one in the minis, but I think they're still only like 3,000 or something.
Yeah.
So quick charge, you know, easy to run with a long run time down here. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I know we've had, I mean, what, 4 or 5 cars out here, regardless of 1/12 or 1/18th, and they, you know, they tend to rip around. You can get to, what, maybe 3 or 4 cars out here and have no problem at all having some fun.
Yeah, we ran 4 cars on this successfully, eh?
Yeah, 4 is done successfully. It was cramped.
It was fun. It was a fun kind of cramped.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And when you see the track, you'll see the track in just a moment. But we've got a sort of a crossover or a figure 8.
Yeah, the 2 lanes cross like this on the same level.
Yeah, so you know that's again has a certain element of surprise each lap, which is good or bad depending on what end of the receiving end you are.
Yeah, especially when you're actually doing well, and then your buddy tries to ram you with his car.
Yeah.
You would never do that.
No, never.
It causes a lot of laughs when it happens. Unintentional or not.
Right.
It's still hilarious every single time.
When you hear the rubber peel out of the last corner before the crossover, you know you're about to get nailed. Yeah.
Yeah, we've had a few people from the Ottawa area and the valley come up and race a couple of nights
and leave scared.
Yeah, lots of laughter. So
yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, I encourage that aspect. Yeah, lots of laughter.
So let's talk about materials for a second.
Okay, sure.
You painted the floor with, I guess, concrete paint.
Yeah, concrete paint, sort of a gray. I actually tinted it with a little bit of black that I had here, and it just sort of gave it that sort of road-worthy feel to it. Or yeah.
And then we're using like a plastic board for all the edging on the track.
That's correct, but 2 inches tall or something.
Yeah, looks like about 2 inches tall.
Which gives you a lot of forgiveness too when you get these cars racing around. If you've got that sort of the plastic texture to it or material, there's a bit of a give, so that saves the fenders on the cars too.
And the battle scars, that if you really look closely when we show you around, you can see the battle scars in the corners.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
It's the testament to how much they help kind of keep everything in line.
Yeah.
And having the board 2 inches high means you're actually getting the edging over top of the level of the tire on the car.
Right.
Which saves you from busted suspension arms and rollovers and all kinds of other disasters, you know, like
even going up and over the track too. Like it keeps you in the track. If you bounce off, usually gets you back in the direction that you need to go, and away you go.
Have we actually had any arms break or anything here?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I don't think so. No.
It's more just pride that's been hurt, and that's about it.
So
yeah, go ahead.
What about the other details that we'll show you this in a minute? But there's all kinds of edging details that's not just puckboard. Like, what did you use for all the color here?
Yeah, I think you called me and said, "Hey, one of the local hardware stores has a sale on colored electrical tape."
I remember that.
Yeah, so I ran there and figured, you know, all of the different colors that you can get in electrical tape now would work well. And you know, it's kind of, when you actually put it down and look at it, it's got that painted curved feel to it, or look to it. The only thing I discovered is because the floor is cement and painted cement and it was cold, I actually had to put masking tape down first. So I had to, the tape, the electrical tape, I had to put masking tape first, which then I could put the electrical tape over top.
It stood up quite well.
Yeah, you know, it did. Yeah. And as it ages and sort of gets a bit of wear, it really looks like curbing and painted curbing too. So
yeah, it looks fantastic.
Yeah,
and you've striped it and stuff and done some really good things on the corners to show it off, and it's got some differential and it looks fantastic.
Yeah.
You've also got some fake grass here in the center sections and stuff in the corners.
Yeah, you know, sort of a bit of the AstroTurf fake grass throughout and those are just fines. You know, whether you know, at work or, you know, in the garbage bin or, you know, rejects or recalls.
We encourage dumpster diving.
Yeah, a bit of dumpster diving. Yeah, so there was that kind of stuff going on. Yeah, and then I think I painted, you know, the rubber marks on the tracks with a little bit of black paint, and that sort of came through too. So
yeah, that helps you follow the right line.
Yeah, sort of, and it gives a little bit of depth to the racetrack too when you do that. So
yeah. So we've got some fake grass leftovers in the corners.
Yep. Some
AstroTurf and stuff. We've got cement paint, a little bit of black paint for the blue groove line on the track.
Yeah.
We've got plastic board and some 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch brackets that assigned it to the floor.
Yep.
Electrical tape. What about the wall treatments? You've got some stickers there, some RC car advertisements and stuff, and then the diorama. What's the diorama stuff made out of?
Yeah, so that's just a really thin, like almost fiberboard, I guess, is the best way to describe it. And I got it from pallets. It was just used for extra packaging on large items that were coming in and from work and what have you. And this was just scrap fiberboard, really thin, maybe 4 mil, 3 mil thick. But it gives you a bit of texture for the wall, a little bit of depth. And so I just use those to create buildings and what have you, and garage doors and windows and so on. So yeah, I just kind of stack them on top of each other and seem to work well.
Well, I expect we better take these people from the video around on a tour here, because otherwise they're going to start shooting us for not showing you around. So let's do that now.
Okay.
And guys, thanks for watching and listening to our talk, and we're going to give you a big tour right now.
Thanks again, guys.
So we're looking around here at the basement racing track here, and let's start off in this corner. This is the pole position corner, right? This is our starting line?
Yeah, this is where we grid up, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And of course in the corner I've created a little bit of a diorama building scape, actually GCM Industries, with the Sam over there just checking out the Porsche that's just pulling out of the garage.
Oh, sweet. And then, of course, that looks awesome because you can merge it right onto the track there. And
yeah, there's still a little bit of work left to do and some lighting, but I should have that lit up, and yeah, it's pretty close, but we're getting there.
And then if we follow the track around here, we get to the first corner, and it looks like you got a black wall there. Are you building something new?
Yeah, that's going to be another sort of cityscape. As we know, this end of the racetrack, where I want it to be sort of have a cityscape to it. So that's under construction, I guess, but
cool.
It'll be a couple buildings.
Well, it must be under construction. You got the crane there.
Yeah, exactly.
There's the crane.
Yeah, a little crane or a lookout point or what have you. Just another sort of texture and feel and a little diorama going on there.
So then we move past the first corner here. You got lots of blue groove line in the track. Obviously, some people have screamed around there a few times.
Yeah, of course. I'd like to say that's the RC cars going around, but I painted that in just to sort of, well, you can see the rubber marks in the track.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah, a little texture again.
And then we've got, what kind of shop have we got here on this corner?
Well, this is the Mini Cooper Racing Shop, sponsored by Sunoco. So a few of the cars that we've used in the past have retired for diorama or what have you. We've got a blue Honda Fit there and a Datsun 510. And, you know, it's just a local garage kind of thing, workshop, race shop. Yeah, and you got the little go-kart at the end there, and you know, junkyard and what have you. And you know, it's just that kind of, you know, against the racetrack, the guy's got a race shop or a workshop, and he's working on his race car and sends it out on the track. So that's kind of what that evolved to.
Do those street lights there light up too?
Yeah, they do light up.
That's great.
Yeah, they're not lit at the moment, but they absolutely will light up.
So then we're moving here to what I guess is corner number 3.
Yeah, I would assume so. And now you're passing over those Apex 1/18 scale. So
yeah,
we know on this track, you know, we've got a lot of examples, or we just went through a lot of examples of the 1/12 or the mini series, but these are our 1/18, and
yeah,
they really hit home on the track. They really perform well. A little bit smaller, a little bit quicker, a lot of fun, but again, both scales really sort of suit the track well.
Sure. And then we're coming up to the bottom of the crossover here, right?
Yeah. So this track He's got the figure 8 or the crossover or what have you, which makes for interesting racing and interesting laps.
Lots of collisions.
Yeah, that's the fun part of it.
Actually, you know, we had 4 minis on this track at one time, 12 scale minis, and we didn't have any. We had very few collisions for the amount of laps.
Yeah, that's a good point. You were absolutely right. So, it's a small space, but you know, with the right scale, they really sort of zip around.
So then when you get past the 8 here, you take a left, as you can see with the rabbit there, and then it curves around to a sweeping S here, right?
Yep.
And then you end up back in the number 8 crossover.
That's right.
And then you take the right-hand sweep of the number 8 and move past all this fantastic stickers and fence and diorama here.
Yeah, we've you know, a lot of tape, a lot of paint, different types of paint, different types of plastics, the plastic board there, you know, just lots of different things to use that you have around the house to sort of make diorama, and yeah, it's come together.
So if we do a big high-end overview here, you can see the layout of the track a little better. There's a real tight corner here on turn number 1. And we go past mini garage with a big sweeper here, and we've missed the apexes. I'm sort of standing in this middle grassy section here, and then we come to the 8, and then the cars take the 8 to the left, and then through this crazy tight sweeper here on the back corner, and then we get across the 8 again, and just basically full gun all the way around the corner here back to the beginning line and the GCM factory here. So that is really an awesome layout.
And it's funny, when you get into it and you really sort of get a couple of laps down, you started to get into a rhythm, and you can really sort of nail down some quick times.
Yeah, we've had some pretty remarkable laps there, and clean laps too, if you can do it right.
You know, the laughter, and I mean, we're always laughing, but the laughter kind of gets serious there for a moment when we're sort of neck and neck. Yeah, it's amazing.
Well, that's just awesome. Thanks for that overview, and boy, this is one cool spot.